know it's Popcornween. We got 31 days. Grab that psycho Goreman, it's time to start the craze. Intergalactic demon man, he found her baby sick. 2 kids so spoiled, man, they're throwing a fit. Coming from the copy space so mean and grim. Bound by these kids, he don't know how to swim. But he's got to handle the archangels from the boulder side. Our arms and battle scars, they're out to be destroyed. Popcornween, fill the screen with the screen. 31 days, we live in the dream. Psycho Goreman cutting through the mics. Demons and angels, they'll be fighting tonight. Till the popcorn's popping and the soda's getting cold. As these kids try to beat you, man, they're getting pretty bold. But he ain't no regular nanny, man, he's got to fight. He'll be taking down enemies left and right. In the dark of the night when the shadows creep, with the heart of the galaxy's secrets deep, Psycho Goreman gonna protect and serve. Archangels better watch what they deserve. Popcornween, we got 31 days. Grab that Psycho Goreman, it's time to start the craze. Intergalactic demon man, he found a baby sick. 2 kids so spoiled, man, they're throwing a fit.
Many moons ago, a nameless evil was imprisoned in a place far beyond reach.
Is that fear I smell?
If he were ever to be released, it would spell certain doom for all existence.
The planet will be torn to pieces, and I will treat your angry screams as I rip.
Is this yours?
Oh my god.
The gem of Paraxidike. Whoever wields it is able to command me.
Over there. And wait for us to come back in the morning.
You will suffer an eternity for this.
Bye!
The ultimate evil has awoken.
I will bathe in your blood.
Don't worry.
Be worried.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of the 31 Days of Popcornween. I'm your host for today, Dr. Till, and I've got another great movie for your Halloween season. Tonight's film, a little 2020 feature known as Psycho Goreman. Pause for interstitial clip.
Who am I? Let me show you, law dealer. I am your master now.
This film came out of nowhere in 2020 and took the internet by storm in many cases. Even big accounts like Red Letter Media were talking about this fantastic little movie from Canada. I know, we talk a lot of crap about Canada. It's just jokes, Canada. We're kidding. Psycho Goreman is a 2020 film that was released on a little streaming platform known as Shudder. Now, if you don't know what Shudder is like the Netflix of horror movies. A lot of the movies that I'm covering this month are kind of off the beaten path. And Psycho Goreman definitely qualifies for off the beaten path, because this is not a movie like many other movies, because this is a movie that is trying to recapture a time and place in the filmmaker's life that they really loved. And Psycho Goreman, while there are a lot of movies that attempt to do that, Psycho Goreman captures it perfectly.
Something's coming.
Welcome back to the land of the living, master.
Now, this filmmaker that we're talking about, we've actually already talked about him once before. If I had showed you the two posters side by side, you probably wouldn't connect them. You'd be like, that's weird. Why are these two movies being categorized together? It's because they're written and directed by the same guy. And that man's name is Steven Konstanski. I'm probably messing that up still. My brain goes, I don't know, that's consonants. What am I supposed to do with that? Steven Konstanski was the writer-director of a film that we've already talked about once this month, called The Void. Your brain's probably going, wait, those were made by the same guy? I know, they're vastly different movies. The Void's like a serious horror movie that really delves into some Lovecraftian shit, And Psycho Goreman's about a child with a gem that can control a space demon.
Why don't you introduce us?
You don't look very friendly.
Ah, yes. Paladins.
You are so beautiful, Allison.
You see where the mental schism might...
Hi, I'm Steve Kasansky, writer-director of PG Psycho Goreman, co-director of The Void, and writer-director of Manborg. And I'm here today to talk to you about stop-motion animation.
This guy made one of the scariest fucking horror movies of the last 20 years, and then made one of the funniest, like, retro movies ever? This guy's way more talented than we gave him credit for. Like, I've been looking into this guy a lot more, because this was a guy that, like, I've loved these movies for years now. I saw The Void back in the 2010s, and was like, this movie's fantastic. And I saw Psycho Goreman when it came out, and I thought, this movie's fantastic. My brain did not connect them. I did not even once occur to me, oh, let me look up who directed this and see what they've been working on. No, I just was like, man, these are two movies I love that have nothing to do with each other. Stevens worked on Capote, Pacific Rim, one of the Wrong Turn movies, the Defiance TV show, The Haunting in Connecticut. He even worked on the Hannibal TV show. I love the Hannibal TV show. He was a makeup effects artist for all these big pictures, and he's talked about in interviews that he considered being a makeup artist his day job, and a lot of times concurrently would be working on his own films. His first one being Manborg, which I have not seen yet, but just from the name alone, I gotta watch that yesterday.
What if we're too late? It's never too late. Be a hero. Up from it.
This guy has been working in special effects makeup since the 90s. He even directed and did all these special effects makeup for the Leprechaun Returns. If you love the Leprechaun movies, this guy's right up your alley. Now, I'll give you the basic breakdown of this film. It's a send back to 90s TV movies, kind of like the direct-to-video type of stuff where they had these high-concept characters, but they never had budgets to really, back those characters, so they'd set them in some suburban area somewhere, and you would have space alien guy meets family, goes on adventure in our world. Psycho Goreman is a space demon enslaved by evil archangels to mine on some crazy alien planet, but he found a power gem that gave him the ability to slaughter all of his enemies and free himself. Now, this part of the story is told to the children by Psycho Goreman in much of the same manner that the cyborg duck in Aqua Teen Hunger Force would want to tell Frylock and Meatwad about some distant, faraway past.
Thousands of years ago, there was Sir Santa of Claws.
That is a tale bathed in the blood of 1,000,000 dead memories. I was born in a time.
I don't know if that was on purpose by Steven, but it always made me think of that millions of years ago. Shut up! Like every time Psycho Goreman starts telling him, or starts telling these kids these important fucking stories, they immediately cut him off and tell him to shut up. The story follows this brother and sister team of Luke and Mimi. Mimi being the younger, but she is far the bossier. And when we first meet them, they're playing a game of murder ball or some. It's a convoluted form of dodgeball that they've concocted themselves, and most of the rules have been made up by Mimi so that she wins. Now Luke, being a good older brother, lets her win, but she decides his punishment is he has to dig his own grave. And when he does, he unearths the stone that holds all of Psycho Goreman's power. And in turn, he unleashes Psycho Goreman. Now, Mimi obviously takes the stone as her prize because, you know, he lost Crazy Ball or whatever they called it. So she gets the gem. But because she gets the gem, she also controls Psycho Goreman now. They quickly decide to try to hide him in a warehouse. And that's where Psycho Goreman really starts to understand how much power this little girl has over him. Now, there's a lot of stuff that happens. They introduce one of their friends to him. Psycho Goreman turns him into a giant brain with eyeballs and tentacles later, but that's neither here nor there. They at one point bring him a television to help him, you know, stay entertained while he's just hanging out, because Mimi tells him he can't leave, so he can't. And as soon as they leave, television's on. He walks over to it and puts his hand on top of the TV, and suddenly you just see static and blood pouring down the screen as he goes, "Spirits of the netherworld, hear my call." You're just like, wait, did this TV just start bleeding? This movie is fucking nuts in all the best ways. Now, of course, there's a lot of shenanigans. The kids doing dress up with Psycho Goreman, playing in a band, just generally perusing around town, starting problems and creating mischief. It's a giant space alien overlord with murder powers, just walking around with two children. And at one point, they give him the costume of Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. Again, I don't know if that was intentional, but it's the same exact costume Sam Neill's wearing in Jurassic Park. Now, the main conflict of this, other than the fish out of water story, is the Archangels, who originally imprisoned Psycho Goreman and buried him a millennia ago on Earth, have learned that he is now regained consciousness and presumably his power. So they're immediately sweating bullets. Now, this is the part of the movie where you get to see some of the best puppet work in this movie. All the characters, like the alien characters, are top-notch, cheesy TV prosthetics. Now, I don't know if that was originally the idea for all this, if maybe he wanted to take this a little more high-budgeted, but I don't think so. I think everything from the get-go was designed to be a low-budget movie and to retain that low-budget TV movie from the 90s feel. Down to every costume is somehow period accurate.
Taste of my magic, Witchmaster.
Things that are taking place in outer space. It makes sense, okay? The aliens look like they belong in a 90s TV movie. So the Archangels find out Psycho Goreman is back, and they want to take him out. And of course, the first thing they do is they enlist Psycho Goreman's old crew to take him out, but Psycho Goreman murders all of them pretty easily. The kills in this movie, while they're gory, are some of the most fun you'll see in kills and anything that's not like a Jason or Freddy Krueger movie. At one point, he runs into some hobos or some like ruffians, vagrants in the warehouse, and he rips two of their heads off, just clean off. And the third one, who is pleading not to be murdered, Psycho Goreman then, in the most perverted of merciful ways, locks him in a quantum thing. Basically, he makes the guy where the guy can never die, or sleep, or eat, or anything like that. The guy's just there, and he's gonna be like that for eternity. That is the most horrifying, hilarious thing I've seen in a movie. It's so dark. Like, this movie has a lot of things where they take the characters to these really dark places, but it's so like disproportionately absurd to the world around them that you just can't help but laugh. Like at one point, the Archangels make it to Earth, and Mimi, the little girl, has the idea that, well, Psycho Goreman's not gonna go down with that fight because Mimi's a little shit and she's ready to take on the whole universe. So she proposes a game of Crazy Ball, or whatever they call it. Psycho Goreman versus the Archangel. And Luke teams up with the Archangel and Mimi with Psycho Goreman. And of course, Psycho Goreman wins, and Luke and Mimi have their little touching moment where they kind of reconnect, even though Mimi immediately does this little bitch move to him. And Psycho Goreman ends up having a awesome sword fight with this Archangel where he makes a sword out of like pieces of the Archangel. He rips off and just sticks together like a meaty sword. And they go after each other. And, Psycho Goreman wins. And the parents of Mimi and Luke are actually pretty significant characters in this as well. The dad just wants to be left alone long enough to just watch one show. Just anything, really. He just wants to see something on TV and not be needed for 5 seconds. Well, his wife doesn't like that, so he would often retreat to the bathroom. And in one of the scenes, Psycho Goreman needs his help, and he is pretending to shit in the toilet, and Psycho Goreman appears as this giant glowing head, just suddenly like eyes glowing and evil voice booming, and the dad just fucking jumps like off the toilet and starts like falls in like the shower and stuff, and he's just screaming as Psycho Goreman's like, "Find me!" It's everything in this movie, every little nook and cranny they can find to cram in a hilarious fucked up joke they do.
Find me! Find me or you all die!
At the end of the movie, the dad, ecstatic that they won, goes to give Psycho Goreman a double high five, and Psycho Goreman breaks both his wrists.
How does failure taste?
And then when the family's leaving, the dad starts talking about how they learned, something here. This wasn't just fighting for your life. This was also a lesson. And the mom just goes, "What did we learn?" And he just holds up his broken wrist and goes,
Okay, Greg, come on. Come. This way. Okay.
"Oh, we need to get you to the hospital." Psycho Goreman is given his stone back by Mimi. And he gives this long speech about how Mimi and Luke have taught him how to love and the value of love. And he opens a portal behind him. Just do it, not even to like another planet, just to another town. Just like maybe like 20 miles away. Maybe it's just in town. Maybe he didn't even go that far. And he just goes, "Now you've taught me how to love, and I will take this power and I will destroy the universe with it." And he just immediately walks through the portal and starts just blowing cars up, and people start running and screaming.
And I will spare your lives. Take it.
Really?
I don't need it anymore, little one. For the first time in centuries, I feel whole. Thanks to your family, I now know the true power comes from within, the power of love.
What?
Goodbye, Mimi. Goodbye, Greg and Susan and... boy. It's time for me to take this newfound power and use it to destroy the galaxy.
Oh my god, I love this movie so much. It is one of the most silly, insane, crazy special effects. No really actors that you're gonna recognize, but they all work so perfectly. And you're gonna be giggling your butt off this entire movie. As scary as The Void was, Steven Konstanski can do comedy pretty damn well too. And he's got a new one coming out that's another like 80s, 90s retro style comedy called Frankie Frico. Like goblins come to this nerd's house and try to make him cool, but then they have to go to Goblin Land. I don't know. It sounds like a fever dream. So definitely gotta check that out. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little coverage of Psycho Goreman on Shudder. So if you haven't yet, go check it out on Shudder. I'm sure Amazon Prime's got like a 7-day free trial that you can, get in there, watch Psycho Goreman, fuck out. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and tomorrow Ken's going to do another movie that I also don't know the name of. You guys have a great one, and be sure to check out the playlist that I have set up of all these reviews. You can watch them in order from Tucker and Dale vs. Evil to this one today just by clicking that playlist. And you know what? We appreciate all the views. We'll see you guys later. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, subscribe, all that jazz. You know what to do. This YouTube's been around for almost 20 years. We're getting old, guys. Hit those buttons. We'll see you guys later. Have a happy Popcornween.
Angels from the vault, the cyber arms and battle scars, they are out to be destroyed. Popcornween, fill the screen with the screen. 31 days, we live in the dream. Psycho Gory cutting through the might. Demons and angels, they'll be fighting tonight. Till the popcorn's popping and the soda's getting cold. As these kids try to beat you, man, they're getting pretty bold. But he ain't no regular Danny, man, he's got to fight. He'll be taking down enemies left and right. In the dark of the night, when the shadows creep, with the heart of the galaxy's secrets deep, Psycho Goreman gonna protect and serve. Archangels better watch what they deserve. Popcornween, we got 31 days. Grab that Psycho Goreman, it's time to start the craze. Intergalactic demon, man, he found a baby sick. 2 kids so spoiled, man, they're throwing a fit.